I'm Junon. I founded the group back in 2023 because community is something I needed. The group currently has grown to close to 1,100 individuals, from retired individuals, entrepreneurs, business owners, and people that just want to feel inspired and connected. We've partnered with Fox Point Farms every Friday at Feel Good Friday at 9 o'clock. Come join us. It's a beautiful community. Come and feel inspired, feel supported, and maybe you can inspire someone too. Let's connect. Welcome to the Heart of the Matter podcast. I'm Junon.
I'm Dr. Lisa Lewis, and I'm so excited to have our guests on the podcast today, Maica Peterson and Sarah Beebe of Salty Goddess Network. Hi, guys.
Hello. Happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
We've been wanting you on the podcast for over a year now, so it's amazing. Thank you for doing this.
I'm so thrilled to be here. Love it so much.
And I've been stalking you guys on social, so I'm like finally glad. That's how I do my due diligence. Yeah, it's like I think I'm gonna love them.
There you go.
Exactly. It tells you a lot. People's social media tells you a lot. If they're being real,
if it's being real,
Yeah.
Really not Asian, salt.
It's Mexican.
They have tattoos.
Yeah.
Well, so we always start off with the group. How'd you hear about the group, and like, what have you heard about the group?
I had heard about the group probably, I guess it was well over a year ago, and through networking. Honestly, it was through Salty Goddess Network. I believe it was Nicole Rippey that had been at an event together, and then she had been there and was like, "Haven't you heard of it?" And that bug started, maybe Molly Hale, and that's when they put the bug in my ear. And so within a month or two, I was like, I gotta go check it out, and I couldn't have been more blown away with how truly authentically run it is, and it has very much to do with the leadership, but it's an open space for people to really connect and be authentic. And I think I remembered you saying it was the anti-networking group. And I remember that really feeling compelling to me because I was struggling with that word myself, and I wanted it to feel authentic, and everything that you guys did is just really special. So and then you've been stalking, and
So I feel like it's interesting the way that I learned about you guys, because it was such an interesting time in my life that I think a lot of people who maybe haven't stepped into a networking group will be able to relate to. So I come from a career in radio, 20 years. And I was at the top of the top. I wasn't looking for any kind of entrepreneurship career ever. I wasn't really looking for networking because you're kind of in your own space and in your own circle. And I had everything I need in that space. And like people would bring people to us. So I didn't have to go searching for it. And I didn't have to do as much heavy lifting in this type of a space. So it just wasn't on my radar. But then when I walked away from my career, I was like, oh my gosh, I am 100% stepping into this entrepreneurship world, but I don't know where to begin or what to do or how to do this. And I ran into a mutual friend, Kara Watkins, who I hadn't seen in years. And then I ran into her at Trader Joe's, and then I ran into her at church, and then I ran into her a couple other times. And she was asking, we're catching up, and she's like, what are you up to? And when I told her, she's like, have you heard of the SD group? And I was like, no. She was like, oh, we meet here every Friday, and you just show up when you can. You don't have to. You show up, you can participate or just chill or whatever. And so here I am 8 months later, taking her advice to finally meet you guys. Nice. But I've said this comparison before. Once she dropped your name and kind of planted that seed, and once I dove in more to this entrepreneurial world and connecting with women and through our own network, Salty Goddess Network, the SD group kept popping up, but not just popping up. It was coming from like people who I love and respected and admired and wanted to be around more, had this as a common connection that they were already part of your group as well, or doing these things. So I was like, dude, like we have such a rad group of people, and like, look at how many of them are already with you guys. And I'm like, okay, like there is something actually bigger picture going on here that I want to learn more about. Well,
I love it because it's one of those things. I always say the right people show up at the right times. And if you're open to it, and a lot of people in the community right now, they're kind of on a search for something, trying to find purpose or trying to really implement something. And you get stuck in your own echo chamber. And if you're by yourself, it's just yourself talking. But if you put yourself out there, you start meeting people, the right people. And it turns out to be a beautiful collaboration.
And you know what? Sorry, I'm jumping in again. But like to that point, it's how scary is it when you're not used to jumping out there and putting yourself out there and actually talk to people? It's scary for most people than not, right? Like if it doesn't bother you, I feel like you're in the minority in a good way. Like, oh, it's just a skill a gift you were born with. But when you start to show up and start to talk to people, that is where the
Right.
beauty is. And then it's like addicting. And then you want to keep doing it more
Yeah.
and keep showing up to these things.
Yeah. And it's funny, it's nothing new. I mean, you go
Right.
back to the beginning of time and there was that village mentality of everyone helping each other.
Mhm.
So all we're doing is getting back to how it should be, where we support each other. And because it is lonely being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's lonely, and so you're doing a couple of things. You're bringing people together who can isolate, not intentionally, but because they're hyper focused on their vision and their mission and their purpose, and so you're pulling them out of that vortex and getting them back into the community, and that's where the magic happens. And you don't even know until you show up what's going to happen at these types of events. It's very similar in Salty Goddess and what I watch you do. They're so they're so dynamic that it's almost you can't tell people what's going to happen. You just have to come, because
Yeah.
that's really the only way to see the beauty unfold.
Right.
And when people show up and you show up and you didn't know you were showing up and you didn't know she was showing up and he was showing up, then all of a sudden you have this recipe for just pure magic to a cure. And that's why you're saying I haven't done anything different. That it's that consistent village type mentality that is the leadership that is causing everybody else to show up with an open heart and an open mind,
Right.
lean into these relationships, put themselves out there a little bit,
Yeah, be vulnerable.
be vulnerable,
Yeah.
and you lead with it. And because of that, it brings it out in everybody else. And so there's such tremendous value in it. And I honestly, I'm passionate about what you're doing because it is so in alignment to what, a couple of years ago, we didn't know each other and you were out creating this and I was out doing it with a little more nichey because I wanted a woman focus because that's me. But our missions are so aligned, it's not even funny. I mean, you're just more inclusive, quite honestly, because you have, well, I mean, that's the truth, because you have men and women, and I'm more focusing on elevating women in business and whatever their passion is, helping women kind of get their foot more in the door or opening their own things.
Yeah.
So
No, absolutely. I mean, when we had our first coffee, it was what I loved about it was we both got vulnerable. We
Yeah.
had a great conversation, and you're exactly right. Like
Mhm.
how I describe the group is how you describe Salty Goddess.
Yeah.
I mean, that really impacted me and it resonated with me. That's why I always sent everyone over to you. But
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about Salty Goddess.
Well, thank you. Well, and on that note too, I just want to point out to anybody that might be watching this is that this is an example right now that you're setting by even saying it that way. And just to rewind a minute, what you just said is how much we can collaborate and help each other. You're not acting scared of me. You're not being weird around me. We're not creating that. It's the complete and utter opposite. And once people get that about who you are, who I am, who she is, who we are,
Right.
that's when they go, oh,
Right.
I get it now.
Marks down.
But that is worth pausing long enough to point out what you just did there, because so many people miss it.
Right.
And it matters so much that when we see other entities pop up, whether what I see Rowdy Moms or I see Mom Walks or other maybe more nichey ones, my first inclination is to go, that's rad. I want to reach out. If you've got people like that, you're going to keep succeeding because all ships rise. If we can get that mentality. So that is a lot of what Salty Goddess is. It's women who have found their purpose, they found their passion, or they're seeking it, and they've got a drive. And they are really ready to take whatever their life mission is to the next level. And so we're here to support them. When we started, I thought it was business owners, but I was too hyper focused. I realized that any woman in our community that has a desire to have a leadership role, leave a legacy and impact for her daughter, those are the women that we want. And so I am so blessed to have my beautiful partner who I've known for multiple years now. And in a very, we met in a very feminine setting. It was it was through a Bible study, and it was a very heartfelt, one of the most vulnerable settings you could be friends with and so when she decided to leave an incredible career. I was starstruck when I first found out she was in my Bible study because I'm like, oh my gosh, I've listened to Dave Shell and Chainsaw for 20 years and she writes for them. And oh my gosh, like she directed that show that is iconic.
Okay, no. I was a producer, director.
Sorry.
No, I was host or co-producer.
But yeah, I mean, like these people that are having these morning radio conversations that I listened to for all these years. I mean, this is the beautiful brain that was feeding a lot of those lines, a lot of that conversation, a lot of that cool stuff. So when she was so interested in what I was doing and was willing and able to come on board as the partner that I'd been needing for so long, I just couldn't have been more happy. And I never ever wanted to be a solo entrepreneur. I wanted this, and it isn't this network. These women are showing up for each other, just like they're not showing up for you. They're showing up for each other when they come, right? I mean, they are, but it's for the collective, and so yeah, I'll let her speak a little.
Well, what else is left?
I know, right?
Fun parties and events, and we're doing our own coffee and collab with the Henry on third Thursday of every month to open up those conversations and opportunities to have a little bit more intimate settings together. We have a mastermind coming up. Like this is the year it's like finally kind of going boom, and we're going to be able to bring these women together in bigger spaces and smaller spaces and settings, depending on what people can, and just deepen kind of the connection and the tribe and the vibe of our tribe and community first. Right. And then, like you guys were already saying, that's after that, when people feel safe and inspired, and we give them hope or whatever that they can do it no matter what level they're at, like then that's where the connections happen. And people are like, oh, I know someone that can help you do that. Let's connect you or whatever. But it's like kind of cool to step out of the corporate world I was in forever. That's the only thing I ever knew. And to now be doing this, I'm like, it's so fulfilling and it's like so fun, right? All the stuff we like get to do, and even like be doing this with you guys. Like this is just so much fun.
All right, we've done a great job of branding the group and Heart of the Matter. We've grown to close to 600 people. Now, how do we market this? How do we get out there? Do we do SEO? How do we get the news out there?
Coast News Group.
We're learning with our community how to balance life and motherhood and all of the things. We're that authentic that we're literally learning as we go, though. I mean, we're the first generation of women that were kind of told that you could do all the things. And some of us are crashing out a little bit. And so we need each other to figure out how we're going to really do this. And one thing, when you get just women together and women that are truly heart-centered, and that has been a filter. There's been a filter in this network, and it's been the heart of the person. As long as we know that they're leading with this integrity and that their heart's in the right place, then that's all we really need to be able to cultivate an environment of really major trust. And we both have elephant rings on. Elephants are not necessarily part of a Salty Goddess. Salty Goddess name is from Neptune Avenue because we're on Neptune. You guys have both been over to the house, and we were like, Neptune is the god of the sea. Who's the goddess? And her name was hard to say. So Salacia is her name. So we just said, Salty. I love it. So, and also salt, biblically, salt and light to the earth. And it comes from Matthew in the Bible. So there's just such tremendous actual meaning in the name. People tell us it's trendy and like, I guess, but there's actually a lot of depth to it. But the elephants don't necessarily go with that. But the reason that we wear them is because in the wild, this is real, elephants will kick up the dust for other female elephants. And so if one of the elephants is in trouble or suffering, the other females will come and circle around her and kick the dust up to protect her vulnerable scent from predators. And so we, as this women's network and this tribe, are very much like these female elephants. Sometimes you're the one in the middle that needs this circle of trust and community around you. And sometimes you're one of the ones that makes you emotional, kicking up the dust. And it makes me emotional because I didn't know at a personal level that I would be transitioning so many changes in my life. And I made this network had blossomed into something special before I ran into these personal life-changing troubles. And so all of a sudden, I always thought I was a dust kicker upper. And all of a sudden, here I was feeling like kind of imposter syndrome, not really sure what was going on. And yet all of these women, these elephants were continuing to show up for me. And it's like you couldn't get rid of them if you wanted to. And that's where it has such a meaning to me because, and to all of us in the network, because knowing that, and that's what I think also helps us show up over and over again, because you just know it matters and you don't always know why, but it does every single time.
And it feels good to know that you have people behind you because,
Yeah.
again, I always mention the box, but in a society where it's competition,
Yeah.
compete with each other.
Yeah.
You can't be better than me. I'm going to beat you.
Right.
But you don't realize with collaboration, support, you can do anything. And it feels so much better to do it in collaboration. That's why I love the group, having people, the other leadership help me with the group. I've done it by myself. It's lonely.
It is.
To do it together. And that's amazing.
It just gets better when you have more partnership, when you have people behind you that you can actually trust. It's like, oh, this is growing.
Yeah.
Without us trying so hard. You know, like it sounds like you had friendship and connection before you were like, okay, now let's kick this off. It's going to grow in 2026. It's like it happened because you have that love and that support.
Yeah.
And he wants to be at the top alone.
Right.
No.
That competition you're talking about, you know, I think there's a stereotype of course, people in business compete. There's a stereotype of like women competing, but I never got that vibe at Salty Goddess.
Thank you.
Never, ever, ever.
Yeah,
never.
Yeah, and that's exactly. I thank you for saying that because it's very true. I mean, the last event you were at, I think I have a picture of you laying on the ground with a roller in like a fancy outfit. Nobody cares. Like everybody. That's one thing people ask me a lot because it's women. What should I wear? And we're always say we do not need to look like we're going to the same place. You do you, girl. I do me. We don't need to.
That.
Like you wear what makes you float your boat. You're a fitness instructor. Be in Lululemon or whatever. I'm gonna wear sneaks today. That's what I'm wearing today. My mood might change tomorrow. You know, so I just love that. I think everybody shows up the most authentic when they're doing them. They're not doing whatever thing everybody else is wearing to the event.
Right.
I mean, you know,
I love that.
Yeah. So, but you all bring that vibe. I mean, people come to the SC group and all kinds of things, and I don't think anybody's sitting there. Maybe people are. If you're worried about what you're wearing, don't be, because you don't have to. People are accepting. That's the thing.
Yes.
You know, so
it's a place, and again, when you feel supported, that's your tribe, that's your family, and that's what I love about people. They'll run into other people from Salty Goddess, or they'll run into someone in the group, and it's like family. It's a family, and that just it really is empowering.
It does. It absolutely has that family feel, June. And again, it goes back to I've observed the growth of the SC group alongside of Salty Goddess, and it's just, I mean, you guys have. And it's because what you said, though, they just come and here you've relocated, and that's a capacity issue. Those are great problems to have. And it's because you're so attractive. And the reason you're so attractive is because you're so heart-centered, so authentic, and you just let everybody do them. And the magic it pops off every Friday.
I think a similarity that Salty Goddess, the group, and he mentioned Bible study. You're kind of entering vulnerable, and maybe you need something, but you don't know what, and maybe you don't even have the question yet. It's like, just show up, like just go to the Bible study.
That's true too.
Salty Goddess. Who knows what you'll find.
And that's the hard work, is getting yourself to go. And that's what I have learned. I think you called yourself this when we first met, and I'm like, I think that's what I am. Like an extroverted introvert. You know, it's like when I know I'm safe and with my people, I have no walls, I have no filter, I have all the stuff. But when I'm in a room with people who seem to either know each other or group up, I'm like gonna sit here and I'll observe. But it's at first it's like hard to talk. And so I've made myself start doing that. And so I feel like, especially like in the last year or two, like since I started doing it more or whatever, that is where I'm like, that's what I was talking about when it becomes addicting. Like, right, you just show up and then see what happens, and you're gonna leave happy that you showed up no matter what. Like, and the more you start to participate, the more your own life is like gonna evolve, and you're gonna get what you are seeking. And again, like to your point, you don't even know what you need, but you know that you don't have it all.
Yes, you don't know what you need, but you know you don't have it all. That is so clutch. And I think everybody should walk into the SC group or Salty Goddess and be okay with that. Be okay with that. Like, why not? because we had Cassie Blakely was over a meeting this morning we had, and I was showing her my P&L, or my performer that I had created for our network, and it looks like an ADHD person did it because I did. And it's 15 pages of stuff with all these little dots and stuff, but because she's her and I have trust with her, I can show her my chaotic looking forms that I would be embarrassed to show probably anybody else, but she can look at it and go, oh, I'm going to text Ford, my husband. Ford helped build Spanx with Sarah Blakely. I'm going to text Ford and see if Ford can, what his feedback is or whatever. And so I'm like, oh, okay, she could. So something that I was holding that I didn't want to share or show or go back to, once I just was vulnerable to show her, then now she's going to help get that need met for me. And who knows how long I might have carried that. And these are still things that I do, but I have to work through them to get to the next level.
Well,
and
it's kind of ingrained in us too, to be kind of within that box. And it's like one of the biggest things we always talk about is just ask. Sometimes just ask.
Yes. Oh my
Like show up and just ask.
Yeah.
The worst that someone could say is no.
Right.
It's like, if you ask, you'd be surprised at how many people are like, oh, here. And you're like, oh,
yeah,
all I need to do is ask.
yeah.
And that extroverted introversion, if you ask an introvert, then they start to shine.
Yes.
They're like,
Yeah.
let me show you
'Cause they
how
wanted.
I can help
Yeah.
you. Or, they take the ball and just like take it to the next field.
Yeah.
How good was that episode?
So good. Let's celebrate.
Where do you want to go?
JoJo's Creamery.
Ooh, my favorite. Look at all the flavors.
They even have vegan.
Ooh, awesome.
Hi, welcome in, you guys.
Hi, thank you. How are you?
Good. Is there anything I can get started for you?
My go-to is peanut butter cup and coconut almonds.
So I'm going to do coconut mounds in a cup, please.
All right, that'll be $15.85.
All right. Wait, my wallet.
June, you can use repegs.
Oh, that's right.
And you guys get 2 free cookies with those.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Repegs is so easy to use. Thanks a lot.
We have another project coming up. Am I allowed to talk about it? The book?
Well, now you have to. You got
Well, we're the
14,000
decision.
keywords.
How about you just tell them, and and we'll pretend like no one else is listening.
Is my executive functioning personality.
I can make June edit this out if I want. Okay, I know how it works behind the scenes.
Because we're really excited. So I have been in the last year or so, I befriended Greg Reed of Secret Knock, and he's a wonderful soul. He lives right here locally.
Connect with them,
You
but yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'll send a text to you too later. But he's gonna do. He's an author. He's written over 150 books, the bestsellers, all the things. He knows how to do that. And we have some incredible women with some incredible stories in our network. And so we're marrying this beautiful idea of having him help us publish a book of stories. And so we'll probably have 10 or 12 women from
12. We have the number.
Okay, 12 from our network that will each do a chapter, and using some of them, if they are eloquent writers, by all means, right away. I will be using a ghostwriter.
Okay.
I don't, I'm dyslexic, but so we have support, and basically to get those stories out of us, and it'll get all strung together, and we're going to be doing it this year. So I'm really excited, and
It's out there.
it's out there.
The
So
other thing, too, is like how I say people just need to act. The other thing, sometimes we have ideas in our head, but we're kind of afraid to speak it.
Sure.
We speak it. It kind of happens.
Right.
And then the right people show up. So, 14,000 people, she just spoke it.
These books are so powerful. Do you remember Chicken Soup?
yes.
Yeah.
That changed people's lives.
Truly.
That changed people's direction of their life. Just reading one 3 or 4 page story by somebody, they were like, I relate to that.
Right.
I want to do something different now too. I want to change my career too. I want to become a model.
Totally.
Whatever.
Yes. I'm real excited about it, not just because a lot of us get to write, but that it's a team effort too. I'm such a team girl. I always played the team sports and stuff. And I just love the fact that there will be 12 women that are sort of going to be working together on this project as a group. And then someone like me, who you can tell there's a lack of confidence with writing, but say I do this with my girls because I feel confident in community to do this project. Well, now I've done a chapter in a book, and maybe I do have the confidence to write my own book going forward. So I'm looking at it as a stepping stone, talking in first person, but for any of these women that might participate, I've heard rumblings of them wanting to write different ones over time. And so I'm like, if they get their foot wet with this, they might even end up launching into some more writing.
How intimidating is that? Are you guys authors? Do you have a book?
Well, so here's the thing.
Like, it just sounds crazy, but then you're like, I do it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. So there's so many similarities between the group and Salty Goddess
Yeah.
because you know how you're talking about that book. We have Jess. What Jess is doing, because my biggest thing is I always tell people I have copies with 4 different members every day, right? I just love it. It's like a growth and evolution in me. You really get to know the person when they're sitting there for an hour and a half, and there's no whatever you have, whatever preconceived notion you had, it goes out the door.
Totally.
You're like, oh, everybody has a story. Everybody has a story to tell. So we're creating a book where what we're going to do is we're having the local photographers within the group take pictures of everyone, and everyone gets to tell their own story.
Amazing.
And so, but I'm telling
Yes.
you, it's Salty
Yes.
Goddess in the group.
There's this insane alignment.
Get up, you guys. I love it.
I like our brains were so like doing the same thing a few years ago when all of these things started to come to fruition. I just love it. There's going to be what I get the reward for me in this, and I'm sure it's similar is seeing other people make connections and grow. And like, I know you're going to get this. I literally get excited when I see people that I know met through me, but they didn't tell me at all, but they're doing their things, or they're doing even business transactions, like all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, that's where I get goosebumps. Cause I'm like, this has got bigger. This is turning into something that's real. It's real community.
Yeah. Well, I always say too, like obviously our kids, there are legacies, but the other legacy is how you affect other people. And that's your legacy.
Yeah.
All the different things. We've had 88 different startup companies from the group.
Isn't that
it's
crazy?
just because of the connection. And so I'm
So rad.
That stat is hugely compelling, June. I mean, just think about that for a second, though. I mean, that's nearly 100 business. I mean, you guys, like, just from people getting out of their way and getting here so they can be with other people that are trying to do stuff. And then that's what ends up happening. It's just, community is so, I mean, we talked about church a lot. That's what he was talking about last week. Was community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was. Did you get there?
Yes.
I don't know if she saw it, but that it is. It's all community is where it's at. And none of us can really grow or change without it. And like you said, we've both been in that isolated entrepreneur role, and it's not fun.
Right.
It's just, it's actually, lonely is the right word.
Right.
Yeah.
And just life in general. I mean, whether you're going through a divorce, whatever's happening, the kids leave for college, those are major life-changing things. A lot of times you kind of deal with it by yourself, and you have to run a business, or you have to start a business, or you have to work for a company. But to be able to have other people really kind of support you, like, I'm having a difficult time with this separation. Right?
Yep. And it's personal stuff, and then it's that's why there's so much depth here, is because you get the personal stuff, but then there's also, just by matter of alignment of what people are doing, that in the business sense, there's support there too. So when my studio was unraveling, because I've got successful ones and not, let's be honest. So when I was closing one that was not fun, I had women calling me with business advice. It didn't work because I was already in something that wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. But at least I could close it knowing I left no stone unturned. I mean, Whitney's calling me about leases. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing everything I can in every single lane to see if there's any way to make this thing continue to work. And there wasn't. But the fact that I had that was a huge peace of mind for me as I was making the hard decision to close that community down. Was I knew that I had to. The writing was on the wall, and all of the women that I had around me, there wasn't anybody that was going to make that work. And so that there is something really special in that too. And emotionally, they were calling me. I mean, of course, it's like Janelle of Encinitas House of Art, who has this intuitive just sense about her, has no idea, but I'm crying in the parking lot about to go in, and she calls me and says something really uplifting. And I'm just like, That's what I needed.
Yeah.
But that's the community piece. And that's the part that whether it's the group or Goddess, like you can't really predict where it's going to lead or when the impact will hit.
Right.
Because I might have met Janelle through Salty Goddess then, but the impact that she made on me didn't actually occur in such a deep way until months later when I was closing and she was texting me and I needed her. So that's the other component that people should understand with the group is that you could show up once or twice and go, oh yeah, be a naysayer, nothing happened. Oh, just wait. Right. Because first of all, if you show up and you at least open your mouth and listen and do both a little bit, and then show up again and again, things will happen. They just will.
Right.
And
Yeah.
let's go back for the people who don't know what you were doing before Salty Goddess. What are some of the things that what studio you're talking about? What things you did before that?
Yes, thank you. Well, so Choose Fitness, it's CHUZE, is part of our family of business and brand. And so I helped co-found that back in 2008 with my brothers, and they are still in the trenches running that today. That company has been really special, done amazing things, and we're at 60 locations now and multiple states, and it's awesome. And then I had gone from I still choose, but we opened a small fitness model. It was called Eat the Frog, and it was a franchise model. And sadly, that model didn't end up making it. And so as a franchisee, that was really some painful business lessons that I had to learn the hard way. I would caution people from franchising in general, unless they fully understand, how those partnerships work. In Choose, I was on the franchisor side for some parts, and so there's reasons on both sides that can be complicated. But yeah, the business that we ended up closing here was called Eat the Frog Fitness, and I loved the actual workout. It had a really nice science-based workout that was low impact and high intensity, and I liked that for joints and all the things. It was going to be a competitor to like an Orange Theory or an F45, but with a slightly tweaked model, trying to go in and get baby boomers. And there was strategy, but the marketing was tricky, and I knew that going into it. And I was told by someone that loves me so much that we could overcome some of the bad marketing, and that just really wasn't the case. And people around here are very savvy, and when they see a plug and play franchise model pop up, they're not running to come sign up.
Sure.
And so there was that, and then so there was just some things, but that actual little frog business is the reason Salty Goddess exists, and it's because I had been at Choose with, in the beginning, in the earlier years, the men running the company. And, so I had just developed a desire to see more women around the table in business. And Choose is so diverse now. I mean, we do such a beautiful job now, but back in the day, early on, I think that's what it had put that drive in me to really go after helping women and seeing more women be involved. And so when that studio was failing badly, I thought I'm just going to go start reaching out to other women that have cool businesses. So I hopped up in a frog costume to Lauren Lusk, who's, you're cool. You own Local Beach and I'm in a frog costume. Can we be friends? And oddly, she said yes. And so I right? I know, right? And so the funny thing, I really did buy a $62 frog costume because the celebrity that was part of the brand I bought didn't show up. And so I'm not a celebrity, so I had a frog, so I bought a frog costume. And I would hop around at jogathons.
Like when you say no stone left unturned.
You really mean it. I was built out. What else are they gonna do? I was frogs everywhere.
This is where we're gonna edit her in the frog costume.
Amazing. And I have that. I'll send it over. It is actually, I have one. Yeah, the girl. It says Boss Babe, and I'm like this, the big fat frog belly, and I'm running at the jogathon. I got a lot of moms. But yeah, the costume did better to attract these amazing women. And when someone like Lauren could see past the ridiculousness, she could see what I was trying to do. And she's a business owner. And she's like, oh, wow, this woman's trying real hard. And she just couldn't help but like say yes to being friends. And so I started doing that. I met Whitney. I had still, she's moved on from Gypsy Feather now. They're actually opening a Dexa place. But Whitney had this beautiful store called Gypsy Feather and all this bright athleisure stuff. And so I was like, oh, it's workout clothes. She's cool. My brand's not cool. Maybe. So that's what I was doing. I was really just by association thinking that I could elevate my brand by aligning with these other women. I'm just trying to figure it out. And it ended up, even though the studio, the decision to close it needed to come, the network is what it was, the outcome of it that was really such a blessing. And I feel like I was really hyper focused on this little box in Carlsbad, this little business, and God was kind of going, you're going to do more than just that. And I just was obsessed with it. And as I was building to try to make that work, I was building, the women were building. And so that was, the network name came from that first meeting of about 10 or 12 women coming together and just saying, how can we support each other? And I was leading with tremendous vulnerability because I was failing. And so that was all very real. When I actually did close, I experienced imposter syndrome because I'm like, how are these women still looking at me? And then I realized that it was bigger than that. And so
that's where the elephant kicks in.
Yeah.
They were there to support you and pick up the dust to get you through that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you kiss the frog and it's
Right.
Brandon. What's going on? This is going to be our biggest deal. We can't be down.
I don't know, man. I've been trying to reach tech support for hours now. They're not responding. They said they're probably not going to get back to us for the next couple of days.
Tennessee Tech told you this was going to happen. Let's call them right now. They do the tech support, cybersecurity. They can help us.
Let's do it. All right, team. Great job. Because of Tennessee Tech, we were able to present this and close it. Good job, team.
I love that type of role model though, who has had the wins and had the losses. It's almost more important. Because who's really winning every single
Right. It's good for leadership too, to be like that, to be vulnerable. And what experience that you have, because there's a lot of people I'm sure that are part of the network that are just starting or just trying to figure it out. So you can help them kind of avoid some of the pitfall.
Right. Well, imagine that we know that maybe their business will benefit if they completely rebrand or close down, or if they, leave the partner that they're with or whatever it may be. It's like you can motivate them to do just that. Right.
Yeah. Well, and one of the cherry on top of that whole frog to the goddess story is that the last day when we were finally closing this fitness studio, the last workout, a member that I had in there, I never wanted to exploit her, but she is an Ironman icon. It's Julie Moss, and Julie Moss crawled across the finish line in 1982 to not win the Ironman that year. She comes in second place and still finishes the race and essentially crawls into the Hall of Fame, becomes an icon for Ironman in history, and she didn't win. So she becomes famous from not winning, basically. Wow, really? Here she is working out with me this last day, and I'm crying finally. It's the end of it and everything. And she came up and gave me a hug. The endorphins are going, and she just said, Maica, you don't always win.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this Julie Moss? Can I tell, Julie Moss crawled across the finish line to not win, but be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm like, okay, I could take this right now. Like, that comment was so meaningful and so powerful to me in that moment that I pulled out my phone and said, will you be part of this network? Because I need people like you. And I knew she was an athlete. She wasn't a business owner. It still didn't fit in my, whatever. And in that, it really elevated us to another level again, because when I took off the shackles of they needed to be a business owner, this or that, it elevated the whole entity. And, having someone that amazing and that someone that I feel personally inspired by so much looked me in the eye on the day that I was doing something that I had guilt and shame and embarrassment and all the feelings about closing, just go,
right.
It's okay.
Wow. Right people show up at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, so then was it obviously there was a little pain when it was happening, but did you feel a weight sitting on your shoulders?
Yeah.
Was it pretty immediate, or was it kind of like, I feel oddly okay?
after the actual close is when.
Can you fix your mic? It's
Yep. Thank you.
The music is kind of getting loud.
Okay. Yeah, that when we made the decision to close, it was not fun because I had to operate for about another month with that information in my head. So that's when some of those phone calls from like a Janelle were really powerful because the community's still happy, and they're and I'm like, I know what's gonna happen, and it was very hard, and I was also I'd opened that business in a partnership, and I was closing it by myself, so that part was also really hard because I was the only one owner that was still showing up, and so there was the other person wanted to just kind of put a sign on the door, and I couldn't, my own integrity, even though we weren't going to make I couldn't just close a community. You would never just close. You can't just do that. And so I felt just my own soul, that was the right way to do it. And so, but yes, as soon as the team knew and the members knew, and that, I think that's when the actual weight started to lift. And then, yeah, it having the network, the elephants, I'll tell you what, man, that saved me. I mean, it just did. It just did. It was, it, it, I mean, she was bringing me fuzzy socks and a blanket, like stuff like this, I just, you can't make it up, but it's the kind of thing where I'm just so grateful that I found myself on a journey that built this network around what problems I was about to experience in my own life, because it pulled me through. It really did. I'm not that strong on my own. It was with the group that I was able to get on the other side of some things that could have taken me out.
Well, it shows me you are very strong on your own, because the way you showed up until the last day, I've seen so many franchises just outside of the
Yeah.
door,
Yeah.
never, never refunding their customers, all these lawsuits. It's like, you have the integrity to be like, okay, we're going to be here until this day and then no longer. And I'm going to show my face. It's not like you hid from what was happening. And now you can obviously start all these other businesses. And
It makes you just fall in love with her even more, learning that. You're like, yeah, she's always like this.
Yeah, I heard about you, for a while before then. We had coffee. I was like, oh, amazing.
Met at Moxie. We met at a
Yes,
workout,
we did.
It's not like you're going to stop working out.
No.
It's not like you're going to leave the community.
No.
You're going to continue to support these other businesses.
Yeah.
Forever.
Which is funny because Moxie works out right by Choose too.
That was even funnier.
Yeah. No, I remember thinking how funny it was in some of those workouts because I could see the company that I actually benefit off of is there, but I'm working out with Gina Bowen owns the Moxie, and Ann Ross, and they do such a great job, and their concept is women oriented, and Choose is more like the group. It's everybody's at Choose, and I'm more hyper focused on elevating women just because, no offense, I just want to see more of us there. That's it. And I shouldn't say no offense. I should make that even more clear. I think there's so much we can learn from our men, so much. And there's some groups that take it to a point of an area where I am absolutely not comfortable. And I know she feels the same. Men in business have done some things that are so important and we can learn from them. And I'm not talking about living in my masculine. I'm really trying to learn how to do a better balance there. But there are so many things that we can learn if we can get ourselves in the right headspace to really absorb and not go around bashing. That's one thing I'm filtering is I do not like that when I see the haters come in. That's not who we are.
This is not a group for feminists. No. Like the word that is turned into. Yeah. Right? That word has evolved as well, and now it's more negative. And they really are not here for men. They are our women beneath our wings. They are our partners. They are.
Yes.
Here. You created something. I mean, it's a move. It's something that people need, people want, and so for so many years, it's kind of gone that way, where it's been separation.
Yeah. People
are starting to feel like something's not right, and that's not you created.
Well, thank you.
Right. We were talking about that before we even started rolling. Just like how much your life improves. So if you start embracing your feminism or your feminine qualities, like while still valuing the masculine that you learned from your fathers and your uncles, and you have sons, it's like, how can we're talking about community. What about partnerships? It's like if men and
100%.
women can actually learn from each other, then both of us are going to win. It's not a competition again. Of like, this CrossFit gym is only for dudes and this workout is only for women. Like
No.
there's no line to be drawn.
Right. No, and I appreciate that so much. I mean, I've had access to some really great speakers, and they have happened to be men. I mean, Tim Story works with Oprah and all these ones, and it's like, some of the feedback has been mixed, but for me, I'm just kind of thinking, you know what? I don't really care at the end of the day. If the information is valuable, that's not what this is about. I mean, so that's another a component of Salty Goddess that I feel the need to just be clear about, because it can be a slippery slope to where people, and I am personally going through a divorce. So I never would want, anybody to think that of our network just because of, I don't know, because it can go that way sometimes. So, we have some incredible men that are mentors and all kinds of things. So,
some of the speakers that you've had at your events were so motivating towards women, but they themselves was a man.
Right.
And obviously, it's for good reason.
Yeah.
Because there's something to be learned from anybody's experience. It doesn't matter who's coming wrong.
Right. Yeah. Love it.
And I love the fact too that you created it because it's something you needed. You needed.
I did.
So, and that's a lot of times people try to get into a business. They're like, what does everyone else need?
Yeah.
What do you need?
Right.
And what you need, and the right people will resonate. And then that's you. You're not trying to go after everyone. It's kind of like if you had an event. If one person showed up, you're still going to be there, centered, and be there for that one person. Luckily, there's a ton of women that come, but you're doing it for the right reasons.
You're so right, though, because we're like the coffee and collab that she's got us organized tomorrow. She organizes stuff. She disseminates information. When I was doing it by myself, I was not disseminating information very well. Not very many people were showing up, but I was. And to your point, though, it doesn't matter if there is one person or 100 people. I was still going to be pouring in at that same level to it. And that is how something goes from. I mean, people wonder how you guys have taken the SD group from an idea to what it is today. It's a lot of that where you're just in
I believe it. I need it. And that's same thing with you. So that's amazing. I have fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Well, the event? What's the event again? Just so the audience could hear.
Next.
So when is this airing?
Well, does it air? Do you have the event every week, every month?
So we do coffee and collab is the third Thursday of every month at the Henry in Carlsbad, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And it's literally just a show up. It's like what we do. We have been doing so many coffee dates with so many different women that we're like, we need to do this on a bigger scale. And it's like open whoever wants to come. Same thing. I don't care if 5 people come or if like 40 show up. We're there and we're going to do our thing, and it's going to be amazing. And there will be a flow to it. Of course, there's like intention with it. So that's the third Thursday every month at the Henry. And then we're doing our first ever Salty Goddess Mastermind on May 30th.
Oh, okay.
And so we are highlighting badass women in our network who are leaders in their field, in their lane. And we're going to be talking about everything from marketing to using AI to supporting women in business to podcasting, how to show up as a guest and a host. But not just for that, that will teach you how to public speak. Because if you are an entrepreneur, you're going to have to speak up about your brand. You have to talk about it and tell people about it and step out into media and do things like this to educate people. And everyone is scared to jump in front of a mic, as you two already know, right? Like people, even to jump up in your group and do their quick little, their little talks they do, or 5-minute presentation, or even just to share who they are, what they need. That is so intimidating. So you'll learn how to be more comfortable with the mic and many other things, right? It's this interactive day. So that's May 30th. That's after coffee and collab. That's our next big thing that we are kicking off.
Love it. You give me back to the community.
Yeah.
Yes, you're empowering me.
Yeah, and we ask what the general need is, and then try to mastermind plan around what the needs are. So that's why some of the things that she mentioned are coming up, is because it's been a reoccurring theme, and it shocks me too when there's these amazing women and they're like, I'm not going to speak because I'm scared to do that or whatever, and I'm like, you got to be kidding! I was not thinking of it. And so I'm like, okay, this is what she does. She could coach you through that. And so it's really rubber meets the road kind of action item stuff that they should be able to leave with and implement with their own businesses and brands as they're walking out. So we want it to be, very meaningful, not just the rah, but also some,
Here's the tools.
yeah.
Okay, this is what we did. So here, go do this.
I mean, taxes, boring stuff, the kind of stuff that I actually wanted. My ADHD likes the fun stimulation. I don't want to do that. Yeah. Right. So I'm like, so she's helping be the right balance. And she's bringing in Lex Noel, who has a beautiful way of talking about taxes. And she's this shiny, wonderful, lovely human who has a jewelry business, but she had to learn and crash her own way learning through taxes. So she's going to teach us. So it's a lot of great stuff that, it's like the stuff we don't want to do, but we need to do.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's such a skill to be able to explain what you do while making people actually want to know more without like boring them to death.
Yeah.
Or going off on a tangent. Because that's another thing.
That's another thing.
People are like so ethereal.
Yep.
What do you do?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that she brings to the table with our network in a huge way is, with the ADHD, my mind oftentimes can go all over, and she really helps clean up what I'm saying because she knows me. She knows the beauty that's in here, but sometimes I need a little bit of help organizing my thoughts so that they come out clearly for everyone else. And so before we go on to certain things, she preps me. She helps me. I asked before this today, and she already said, we already know everything. We've already done this. Just speak from the heart and you're fine. So I said, okay, fine. But a lot of the times if we've got 4 minutes or there's something like that, she can really help me say the things that matter so that I'm communicating clearly. And that is a big deal for someone like me. And there's so many of us in the network that can use a little bit of touching up in that area, just to help us present better. Greg says to me, people only know about you what you tell them. So you have to be able to articulate what that is in a decent way. And so she's helping us be way beyond decent and getting us really good at it. So
that's amazing. Hey, can you believe we have 336 members now of the group?
I know.
That's
crazy
great.
how
So much.
fast that was actually in a
Let's
year.
celebrate.
Okay, you're always wanting, look at that. Look how quick he is to celebrate.
Well, we have to celebrate.
What are you looking for though?
So that corkscrew.
Tune. Los Cuernos. No corkscrew needed. What do you want? You want a rosé? Red. Another red. But you want Chardonnay, I'm sure.
Chardonnay, just
Pop that open.
Tell them more about me.
Yeah. Well, so that's kind of the goal. What do you envision?
We're building a podcast studio right now that's going to get built out because that's her lane. So she has Purpose Podcast Productions, and they do podcasting for mainly it's churches.
It's been faith-based or purpose-driven. So now I'm so happy to have the problem where I don't have all the time to do that anymore. So I'm down to just one church. And going to put all those efforts into this next layer. We'll have a studio so that we'll have our own, but then we'll also be able to offer it to women in our network who want to do a podcast and have nowhere to do it. So we'll have that space for them too.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. So it's really exciting, fun stuff happening. I pinched myself that we're at a place now where we can actually, actually breathe a little bit. We have a CMO now that's helping do some things, and just getting our team sort of really built out, some clarity with roles, areas where things have been very just gray for a long time as I've been doing them, and just putting some actual labels on things. And it's just the clarity every day as I've worked with Sarah, it's been more and more clear and better. And she's learned how to work with my brain too, which is matters a lot. You know, and I say that in a like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, you can say that.
yeah.
But then on the other end of that, just some of these things that we're finally able to bring to life this year also include, so we have our bigger events, right? But we also are implementing Girls Night Out once a month. So now the first thing we're doing, I was like, this came to life because I was like, oh, the Devil Wears 2. The Devil Wears Prada 2 is coming out. I want to go see that. I want my girls to come. So it kind of came to life from that. But then what's already happening is that women in network or local businesses who want our women to come see their spot, they're like, oh, could you do a girls' night out at my place and I'll host you guys? So like Mariana is opening the Talks Technique right here in Carlsbad. And she's like, I would love a night to host you guys to show you my stuff and do some fun stuff. And then, right, there's more coming. So that's also another way we're going to be able to highlight local businesses and get our women into their places, right? Which is the point, right? Which is like to support people.
Yeah.
So we are putting a lot more effort, energy, and time into actually getting women together, not just in our space, but in their spaces as well.
Yeah.
So that is like bigger picture this year, what we're bringing to life finally, which is one of the most exciting things, right?
I always see good things with Salty Goddess Network. We support you.
SaltyGoddessNetwork.com.
Okay.
We just debuted our new website.
All right.
She got a facelift, which if you've been there before, you know she needed it. So SaltyGoddessNetwork.com, and like right on the front page, there's like a connect with us. So boom. And then also we are on Instagram, but you know, that's like more, it's like salty_goddess_network.
Yeah.
So it's not as easy, but you can find it all on the website as well. That's the easiest way.
Great.
It's good
I
stuff.
love it. Yeah. Well, thank you again. This is amazing. I'm excited to see where Salty Goddess goes in next year. Whatever we can do to help you.
Same.
It's amazing. I mean, yeah.
Thank you. And same. And I'm so grateful that you two, again, like you don't see it as competition. It's like community, right? It's like the other C word. And I think what I just want to encourage anyone that's listening that has already joined your group or whatever, dipped their toes in a little, is like really remember like the old school saying, right? You get out of networking what you put into it.
Right.
So if you are showing up to stuff and you're not jumping in to participate and open your mouth, you're not going to bear the fruit that this is holding for you in these groups. And so thank you for giving us this platform to share what we're doing and building. And I can't wait to see your book.
Well, I can't
too.
wait to see your.
I want to see your
startup.
I know.
Interview all your members. And, I mean, yeah,
Oh yeah,
It's just fun.
it's gonna be just so many fun. I think that's it. It's stories, hearing each other's stories, being in community, and there's a lot of women that have silenced themselves for a bit, and they have stuff to share that matters. And so I'm just excited to let voices be heard. You know, a lot of our events, women, when they do speak, their voice might crack or they might cry through it, but the support that they get doing it's kind of is enough to keep them going. And sometimes what they have to share matters so much. And so we're always so encouraging. If your voice cracks, just it's okay. Like just keep going because it gets easier every time. And so, yeah, that's what it's all about.
Well, even when they do though, when they get emotional, or if anyone gets emotional, I get emotional, or my voice cracks, I feel like it resonates more because everything is so, we live in a filtered world. Everything's filtered. When you see somebody get emotional, that resonates with me. So I love that you're doing that. You're empowering people to just be vulnerable.
Yeah. And then so for any of our goddesses that haven't yet stepped foot into the group, you guys meet at Fox Point Farms every Friday.
Every Friday. Yeah.
What time? 9 a.m. I'll say 9 a.m. Perfect.
We have Mondays at Perky Cafe in La Jolla, Tuesdays Normal Heights, Thursdays at Oceanside Community Roast.
Go, June.
Love it. We're gonna go together. Salty Goddess group together. So let's get we can combine the books.
We're gonna have a fun one time. Yeah. This is a big love of it.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely. So cool. I love all those chapters. Yes, thank you.
Right?
It's just good. Yeah.
Again, thank you again. If you're looking to sponsor a podcast or be on the podcast, look for us on YouTube or Spotify.
And keep listening. Keep sharing our podcast. Keep sharing the message. It blows my mind how many people get to view our podcasts every week, and you guys are contributing to our growth. So thank you.
Absolutely. And then when they start their podcast, remember, if you subscribe to us, subscribe to them.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, thank you.